Nate is dead, and everyone else is making bad decisions. This is Euphoria Season 3, Episode 7 recap. We're gonna go through the backstory of Ali, and you see he a crackhead, and he's having family problems. I mean, him and his wife are arguing and shit like that. And next thing you know is that he's been hanging out with a damn crackhead sex worker played by Natasha Lyonne. Now that's that chick from Poker Face. She probably went on a relapse after Poker Face got canceled, and next thing you know is that he's in surgery and he's in the hospital. He's struggling and all this stuff. He decides to turn his life around, and he decides to help others who are struggling with drugs and addiction and all that stuff. But every time people around him, they died. They just dropped dead. And when the pandemic hit, though, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy going on around here and all that stuff, though. So it's like I mean, people that he been helping just died. I mean, they drive a drug overdose, hang and stuff. I mean, they couldn't cope. I mean, that's crazy. But you go to the present, the present time, he's helping others and stuff like that. Going, they have like a rehab thing or 12 steps program, Addictions Anonymous, and though. So he's trying to help Rue because Rue tells him that she's been struggling and shit like that, though, and then she's been dealing with Lori and the Alamo, and she's been a drug mule. And then Ali decides, that she should stay with him to keep her safe. But eventually, Rue makes the dumb decision to leave Alamo and do this run for one last time. Last week, she just saw the Most High, and then all of a sudden she made a bad decision. Like, I'm gonna go down to Mexico and I'm gonna go deal with Lori, so I see how I get that money back and all that stuff, though. I mean, we're gonna get to Rue in a very big moment right now.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get.
And I'm gonna deal with Maddie and Cassie and all that stuff. So anyway, Rue is there. I mean, she's talking to Lexi and all that stuff, and she's telling him about saying that the guy spoke to her, and then Lexi doesn't want to hear it. She's just thinking that Rue's high again and all that stuff. And then Rue mentions saying that she's been with she was a drug dealer for Lori, and then she worked at Alamo, and she was talking to the DEA. And Lexi was like, "That's so you high again." And Lexi, man, she always be judging anybody. I mean, shut up. I mean, Lexi need to watch what she says because Lexi's acting like a bitch. Nah, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, Rue leaves because she sees someone at Cassie's apartment and she closes the window. So she goes up there. Next thing you know is there's a gun put on the peephole. That person was getting ready to shoot Rue. But it turns out that Cassie is there. She's being held hostage and tied up by Nas and his henchmen and So a few days earlier, turns out that the name was like, the situation is that make a long story short, that Nas wants his money. Nas wants $1 million, right? So what happened with Cassie? She deleted her OnlyFans account and she's unable to get it back. And then things get much worse. That Cassie's part got cut off because Sharon Stone was talking to some bigwig at the industry saying that they don't need no sex worker, they don't need that drama shit like that. So that's what. Anyway, Sharon Stone tells Lexi that we don't need Cassie no more. No, she's done. You gotta tell her the news. And to make matters worse, Maddie got fired from her job because her boss found out that she was working with Cassie, who's doing like sex work and shit like that. And then the boss was like, "Yo, you're done, bitch. Pack your bags and get out." So anyway, Maddie was pissed off. She goes over to Cassie, and she crying on the floor. Maddie stomps her and gets her get her ass up. And next thing you know is that she slaps the shit out of her like a bitch, telling him, yo, you gotta listen to me every mother effing word I say. I'm not your manager. I'm your boss, bitch. You better work. Damn. Maddie's going hard like that, though. And you know what Maddie and Cassie did, though? They got that star from the Dylan, the guy from the TV show LA Nights, though. Maddie wanted Cassie to have sex with him and then post it up on social media. And yo, Cassie going crazy. Like she having sex, like she's an adult film star and all that stuff. Next thing you know is that Dylan goes and drinks some water. He didn't notice that there was a finger in the glass. And then next thing you know, Maddie comes over. She discovers that there's a finger in the glass. And she was like, what the hell's going on? It turns out that Nas, his man, got to Cassie, telling him that they need $1 million. So you know what Maddie did? She went to Alamo for some help. Because you know what happened is Nate, though? Nate, you don't believe that Nas did, though. Nas and his goon, they buried Nate alive in his in this construction thing. And then they put a pipe in the shit to that, though. And next thing you know is that Nas says that they need like $1 million in 3 days, or Nate's gonna be dehydrated to death. So you know what Maddie did? She went to Alamo, telling them about the situation with Cassie, and then that she needs the money. And you know what Alamo did, he goes around. You don't believe this, so he Alamo seduces Maddie, and it turns out that Maddie made a deal with Alamo, the devil. Yes, that's Alamo Adebisi. And then next thing you know is that it turns out that they put the money in the bag, and then next thing you know that Massey has to deliver the money to Nas so they can return Cassie. But when Nas sees the bag, he was like, it was nothing but a bunch of cards, oh shit. And I was like, is this a joke? Next thing you know, Nas gets shot, and then Adebisi, though, he smokes him. Yeah, and then next thing you know is they unbury Nate, and Nate's dead. He died by a damn snake. And then earlier, Nate, he's like, yo, Nate's pleading for help. Next thing you know, some rattlesnake comes in, goes through the pipe, and goes around Nate and attacks him. Nate, he's done. Because you know what happened with Nate? He made a lot of bad decisions since the season began. Dealing with a damn loan shark, and then he can't even pay up the money, and then they had to punish his ass for that, though. How can you go to a loan shark while your business is struggling? You should just go to your father and stuff like that. Come on, for some help and all that stuff. But nah, Nate made a dumb decision ever since season 3 began. Anyway, so and then look what happened. Oh my goodness, this whole episode is based on bad decisions, right? And Nate died because of his bad decisions. And Maddie and Cassie, though, they did some dumbass decisions. And then Maddie had made a deal with the devil, and Cassie doing some dumb shit with OnlyFans and the money. She can't bring in the money and stuff like that, though. And however, though, let's get to Rue. All right, Rue, on the other hand, though. Anyway, we gonna start out with the Dwayne Wade. He just came back from the hospital. He got like a cool bag and he got surgery on his stomach. And then Alamo tells him, you gotta go on a run. Why can't you give Dwayne Wade a rest? He just came out of the hospital and all stuff. And Alamo, he just doesn't give a shit, though. He tells Dwayne Wade to go to Mexico, do a run. So he had to send some of his, and he wants to send his strippers down there to get a BBL. And it's like a front for them to get the fentanyl and all that stuff, though. So anyway, Dwayne Wade had to do the job. They should have given it to somebody else and stuff like that, though. But Alamo was like, you effed up, so you need to go, nigga. And I don't give a shit I don't even shit you in the came from the hospital, man. You bet up, man. I'm gonna punish your ass for that. Alamo Adebisi is nothing but an asshole. Nah, anyway, and besides all that though, Lori, and then Rue, on the other hand though, she had to go with the Lori and all that stuff for the key, and all that stuff. So Rue pretends to be hurt, and she hurts herself. Goes over to Lori, tells her that Alamo did this to me, and he's about to kill me. He's got to kill you too. So anyway, Lori takes her back, and next thing you know is that, but Ruth got a plan trying to get the money, take the money from Lori and all this stuff. So anyway, you got like Faye's Nazi boyfriend Wayne though. He knows he can smell a liar, and then Ruth says she's been lying all her life, and Wayne says that lying's good. And then he knows that if you lie, though, he's going to punish her. So you know what Wayne did? He cut Rue's hand. And Faye didn't like that shit, though. She wanted to break up with Wayne at that point, though. So anyway, later, and next thing you know is that later that night, when everyone else is sleeping, Faye goes Rue. And then they quietly go to the safe to open to get some money. But when they open the safe, there was no money in there. There were just cards, and they had the ID cards, and then they had the ID of Angel. I mean, they got her. I mean, did Lori's crew got something to do with Angel too? Shit! Oh my gosh! And then Faye just started going off, telling Rue, "You lied to me. You lie. It's just the same thing that Cassie said. You lie. And then shit. And then. And next thing you know, Faye starts screaming Wayne to get up. And then, shit. Rue is some deep shit right now. I mean, we got the whole episode based on bad decisions. I mean, Rue running her mouth, saying that she's been telling people she's been with Lori, Alamo, and the feds, and the feds. And then Maddie did the same thing. She's telling Alamo that Rue's been working with Lori, Alamo, and talking to the feds. Oh my goodness, Maddie got over her big mouth. And next thing you know, she does a deal with Alamo, and look what happens. When she owes Alamo money. I forgot to mention that shit though. Now Maddie's been in a dark hole right now, and then Cassie doing some dumb shit. I mean, he's still mourning Nate. Nate was a piece of shit anyway. And you want to do some dumb shit like OnlyFans and all that stuff? I mean, And then, I mean, shit. And Nate is a piece of shit anyway. He's dead. I mean, what do you think about that? So, now Rue, Nate, Maddie, and Cassie, I mean, they made poor decisions, and then at least that brings in consequences. So, what will happen in the season finale or the series finale? Who knows? Will Rue survive? Who's next?